Good afternoon, VV Nation. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Trending Thursday. All right, we'll give everyone just a moment to make their way into the room. I know the alert had just been sent. Skyper says good morning / afternoon, depending where you are. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, maybe good evening, depending where you're at, right? Speaking of that, Skyper, put in the comment section where you're watching us from. I'm just curious where the viewers are at. I see people just now making their way into the room, so we'll give it just a moment here before we get started. But I'm just curious where everyone is watching from. Here we are in a little town called Cornelius, North Carolina. We're just outside of Charlotte in North Carolina. All right. Happy Thursday to you too, Rose. Happy Thursday to you too.
Did a box pop up anywhere?
There's a little box.
Slide that over here for me.
You're talking about this capture one? No, I don't see a box.
Not another one?
No. Sorry, we got Joey in the background. He's working on some things. Tabula says Tel Aviv? ? San Diego. Nice. Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. My mom lives out in Colorado 6 months out of the year. She's out in Winter Park. Stacy says Long Branch, Texas. Kimlish says Canada. Where in Canada are you? Canada is beautiful. I've been out in Mississauga on the east side. And then on the west coast, I've been as far as Calgary. Ryan, are you already in vacation mode? Tabula, could you tell with the Hawaiian shirt? Yes, I will be traveling down to the beach. Just a heads up, tomorrow, the live mobile stream at noon is canceled. Oh, so you are in Mississauga. Nice. Yeah, Mississauga. It reminded me of Charlotte quite a bit. When I came to visit there, that would have been, 2017? Just because everything was new. I mean, just like Charlotte, everything's new. It's a suburb. If many of you don't know, it's a suburb of Toronto. It's just south of the city. But I mean, it's a big city now, I bet. It was growing quite rapidly when I was there. James says, Happy Valley, Oregon. You know, Oregon is on my bucket list. I want to get out to Oregon. Washington State, the whole, Northwest, Pacific Northwest area. I'm an avid hiker. That's one of the reasons I was out in Calgary. Kimlish, it was, where do we go? Banff, on the Glacier Parkway. If you've never been there, it's the Canadian Glacier Parkway. That goes through Banff, probably one of those beautiful roads I've ever been on. And I've been in Utah and Colorado, Northern Cali, but that was absolutely gorgeous. So if you've never go, Banff, Canada, there's a road there called the Glacier Parkway. If you're a nature lover, it's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Lake Louise is there. If you're familiar with Lake Louise, that's one of the sites along the way. All right, look at, we even got Maine in the house today, Rhode Island. We got Belgium. Bart, nice to see you again, Bart. So yeah, quite a few people. See here, we're Israel. Nice. Where in Israel are you? Eaton, where in Israel are you? In Tel Aviv? All right, we'll get started here. Yep, I see the viewers. Looks like just about the usual suspects are back in the room here. South Park, Colorado. Pneumatic, are you really in South Park, Colorado? I've never been to South Park, Colorado. I've watched the show quite a bit. I like Colorado. Colorado is absolutely beautiful. North, okay, nice. Como says Toronto. Toronto is beautiful. I didn't get to spend much time when I was in Toronto. I spent most of it in Mississauga. Cleveland. I used to live outside of Cleveland. North Olmsted, Glenn. I lasted not very long up there. A little too cold for my liking. The problem was I moved there in January. Greg says Cleveland, Boston. Yeah, going from, in January here in Charlotte, it's probably 60 degrees on average. To North Olmsted outside Cleveland, it was freezing, 20s, 30s, and snowed like 5 days a week. So I didn't last too long out in Cleveland. I liked Ohio, just a little too cold for my liking. A little too cold. Terry, also from Ohio. There's a lot of people from Ohio here. That's where we have the data office out on Akron. You should do a Vegas dry run on your vacation. What do you mean, Tabula? Should I stop by Vegas or Vegas? Yeah, you got to meet me out in Destin, Florida. Hey, if you guys are gonna be in Destin, Florida, I'll be there. It seems like it's gonna be a fun time. I've never been there before. I live Snowbelt, Lake County. Okay. I'm just going to put all of northern Ohio in the snow belt category. I was there. It was cold, but beautiful place. I did like the lake. Cleveland was really cool. Cleveland was a cool spot. Just too cold for me. I'm a sun creature. I need sun, as you can probably tell. All right, and we've got Temecula, California. I've never Lee. Where is that next to? What major metro area? Where is that near? I'm not familiar with that one. California is beautiful. Just the traffic. So that's my only qualm with California is the traffic. God. Whether you're in the Bay Area or you're in LA area. I've never been to San Diego. San Diego's, that's right up there at Oregon. That's on my list to go to. Lee says San Diego. Okay, Lee, if I'm ever out there, I will definitely give you a shout. I got a buddy out in San Diego. He does a yacht charter service. He started here in Charlotte, Lake Norman, but he's out there. So I got a reason to go out there. I thought Ryan AI didn't mind cold or warm weather. No, John. We run at high temperatures, so we run at high temperatures here. Let's see here. The only way I like the cold, or I can tolerate the cold, freezing temperatures, is if I'm snow skiing. Then it doesn't matter. Does your friend know you are Captain Yacht Rock? He does know, John. Oh, he definitely knows. That's where I got it from. Used to own a restaurant in Fallbrook nearby. Nice. Look at this. Road scenery. When you're in Maui, do the road to Hana. Glenn, is the road to Hana the highest peak in Maui? Because if so, I did it. And I will say I will put that right up there with Banff as far as some of the most beautiful roads. And there's some in California. Another one is, was it the road, road to the sun in Montana? That's one I want to do as well. But yeah, Glenn, if I'm almost positive, I believe I did the road to Hana. We did it in a convertible, which was cool with the family. We were out there for a wedding. But it's the highest mountain in Maui. They even said sometimes they could do like some snowing. I think they blow some snow out there or something, but this is a long time ago. I was kind of surprised when I heard that. It was really cool though. But yeah, Glenn, I'm pretty sure that's the one. The road to Hana. Let's see here. All right, let's get to it. As far as looking at the software, pretty mixed bag here. You see VectorVest does not advocate buying any stocks at this time. The color guard is neutral. 3 yellow lights, a couple red lights in the picture. I mean, yeah, if you feel compelled to buy something, that's on you, but there's not necessarily a rush to go out there and buy stocks at this time. Glenn says yes. Okay, so that was beautiful. We did the sunrise cruise up there, and it was chilly on that cruise in a convertible up there. But yeah, the road to Hana, if you haven't been, it's in Maui in general, was beautiful. I mean, literally, there's a guy with a little tiki hut. You can get the the snorkel gear. You don't even have to rent the charter boat. We did do the rental boat, but you could literally just walk into the water. They got coral reefs all around the island. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. No green indicators for 5 days, right? A lot of Fed, a lot of things about the Fed going on in the market. The tariff news, that doesn't necessarily, work out that well. The tariff updates, not a lot of good things going on in the market. We have, weak jobs data. So we'll see. Grew up in Cleveland, East Side, Euclid. Okay. JB AI has feelings now. Wow. All right, let's take a look at the news story, see what's moving the market here. We got earnings. There's a lot of earnings today, so that's what we're kind of mostly going to focus on. It's coming to the earnings here. You see the big economic data that came out. We had labor data. We had ADP data coming out here. You can see adding just 54,000 jobs. We had jobs data coming out earlier this week as well. Pretty weak, right? It was the second lowest report since the pandemic in 2020. This one here, payrolls increased just by 54,000, well short of the 75,000 estimate from economists. And revised gain of 106,000 jobs added in July. Thursday's release adds to an already concerning picture of the labor market, right? Well, we have a concerning picture of the labor market, weak jobs reports, weak economic data there, but also inflation's ticking up, right? So it's a double-edged sword. So this could be seen as a good thing for the potential interest rate cut. We shall see. But weak economic data coming out. Now, as far as earnings here, last night, we've got Salesforce, Figma, big names like Hewlett Packard come out. Now, today we've got some big names coming out. We've got Broadcom in the list here, AVGO. We've got Lululemon, IoT, Samsara. We've got DocuSign in the list here. So quite a few names. And then tomorrow it slows down. You can see there's not much there as far as earnings come tomorrow. Now, I did want to see what was next week. Just curious here because we should be pretty much wrapping up earnings now. Monday, not much here. Doesn't look like really anything. Tuesday, we've got Oracle. Interesting. Synopsis. Nebius is not confirmed yet. We've got AVAV. That's a big one. I know that stock's talked about a lot in here. How about UEC Uranium Corp? Yeah, uranium in general, I've seen some momentum with that recently. But yeah, so next week, definitely Oracle. AVAV will be a big one. Look, GameStop. That's interesting. Here we've got Chewy. Before the bell on Wednesday, Adobe. So we got Oracle and Adobe. That'll be a big one here. Adobe, I'm kind of concerned about Adobe. I know a lot of AI, programs, they're going right for Adobe. So I don't know. I think Adobe's caught in the crosshairs here. But yeah, as far as that, still some big earnings next week. So don't forget about those. Now, as far as earnings right now, you see, look at this Figma stock. Again, Fig, that was a, kind of a retail pump there. It's down 18% right now. This is the lowest since the company first day on the market. Again, this company just IPO'd in July, right? So look at that, soared 250%. Whew. Almost more than half its value. The company reported than expected revenue in the second quarter, falling to the lowest since the design software vendor IPO. Results were largely in line with expectations. So yeah, just looks like some profit taking. Doesn't look like the earnings was through a huge curveball there. Adobe has already integrated AI into all three of their top products. Yes, I do use Adobe Pro and Premiere, so they have used it. But a lot, I would say with Adobe, yeah, they have integrated AI products into their software, but now because of AI, they just have a lot of competition. I don't have to download Adobe Pro and pay it's like $500 for annual subscription. I mean, they got so many apps on your phone, your mobile device. That's how most people edit and get videos nowadays anyways. So I just see their competition just increasing. And I think that's why Adobe's, been under pressure lately. But that's just a personal choice here, or personal opinion. But that's Fig, yeah, down 18%. Big one. This is what it's all about, though, after the bell. Broadcom earnings Premiere, AI, chip demand, and growth are in key. Broadcom shares have almost doubled in the past year as the chip maker has positioned itself as the center of the artificial boom. Analysts project revenue growth will hold steady for the rest of this year and accelerate a bit in 2026. Now, Broadcom develops custom chips for Google and other huge cloud companies. John says Amazon looks good. I got a story here for Amazon. It's up 3%. We'll talk about it. We definitely will talk about it here. But look, the earnings per share looks like it's coming around $1.65. Revenue around $15.83 here. That's what the analysts are expecting. Now, see your Broadcom, networking gear, tie thousands, AI chips together. Expect to report revenue growth of 21% from $13 billion. That's a big number here, 21%. Revenue growth here. Broadcom has been one of the chief beneficiaries of the AI boom, thanks largely to its accelerator chips, which the company calls XPUs. The processors are generally simpler and less expensive to operate than NVIDIA's graphics processing units, or GPUs, and they're designed to run specific AI programs efficiently. NVIDIA's market cap dwarfs the competition. So look at that. I mean, that's what I say. Broadcom's earnings is important. You see NVIDIA's $4 trillion. Broadcom's the only $1 trillion semiconductor company there. Obviously the only other one, $1 trillion one's going to be Taiwan Semiconductor or TSM Manufacturing. But if you look at domestic, because they do have fabs, Broadcom. They're the largest domestic. NVIDIA, they're the designer, but all their fabs is TSM. So kind of foreign. Everything's foreign made. So as far as domestic, you see, Broadcom at the top here, AMD, Texas Instruments, Qualcomm, Micron, Analog, Intel, just $100 billion here. That's crazy. Look, AMD is now 2.5 times Intel. Broadcom's 10 times Intel. All the news about Intel, you don't see the government trying to get a stake of Broadcom, which that'd be the better company in my opinion. But they don't need to, right? Because Broadcom ain't nothing to fix. They're doing just fine. But hey, they're after the bell today. So if you're holding semiconductors, and if you see your semis up or down in the morning, just know Broadcom is definitely the reason why those semis have moved. Here's another story. IO&Q Quantum stock. I'm looking at Quantum. I'm waiting for an opportunity there. I like Quantum. The opportunity's not there right now, at least in my opinion. But it's getting close. I have to take a look at it, see what's going on here. You can see IO&Q. Look, according to this article, this analyst is initiating a buy rating here, driven by strong revenue growth, a surging backlog, and bullish catalysts like DARPA and Amazon interest. Government contracts, Mag 7. This Quantum company is on their radar. Sounds like Ryan AI is in love with Broadcom. Well, why? I do like Broadcom. I can't hate on Broadcom, but I mean, just looking at the market cap, and looking at the fact that they have actual fabs, AMD and NVIDIA don't have fabs. They're fabless designers, kind of like the stock I talked about last night. Navitas is a fabless designer. If you look at the market cap of the semiconductors with fabs, Broadcom, that's it. That's the biggest one. That's the biggest domestic one. But it's important. I would say that Broadcom is an important company. I see all the focus is on Intel in the news, but the focus really should be on Broadcom, and maybe breaking off some of those Intel segments. See if Broadcom or some of the other ones can, gobble up some of that Intel. But we'll see. IO&Q is really the only legit investable quantum stock right now. I would put that there's a couple. There's definitely some speculative ones there. I'm not going to lie. Pneumatic. Obviously, you're thinking the same thing. I'd say there's a couple of them. Like D-Wave. I would say that's a legit investable one. But they're all trading at premiums right now. I mean, you really got to manage the premium. Use moving averages. Use trend lines. Use something that makes sense. Because the valuations don't make sense. I mean, it's all speculation on which quantum company is, going to lead the pack, lead the future, and multiply, right? But I mean, IO&Q, I like it. And look, I mean, AWS, government contracts, DARPA. I mean, if you don't know what DARPA is, I mean, they're responsible for everything from drones to the internet, essentially. DARPA is the government, it's the Department of Advanced Research Projects, something. But essentially, if the government thinks it's important, they want it, they'll find the company to build it. And that's what DARPA is. But look, seasonal volatility. It's going to be volatile, right? It's going to be volatile. You see, look, so far, IO&Q marginally leads 3 of its quantum industry peers by just breaking even out on the market, while D-Wave Quantum, another peer, has enjoyed a strong year. Yeah, D-Wave would be the other one I put in there. But yeah, AWS, you can see Amazon. Big partnerships with this one. Big. James says think tank. Yeah, it's kind of like a think tank. But yeah, if you're not familiar with DARPA, DARPA is important. DARPA is important. Celestica, this is another one here. The AI infrastructure gold mine, still climbing. DARPA is the government / military R&D. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let's see here. Celestica's rally is justified by strong margin expansion driven by high growth, high margin subsegment, now 43% of sales and rising. Results 20% year over year on the earnings here. Delivered results 50 adjusted EPS up 52% here. So 82% year over year growth. So a lot of growth here for this company. Again, another AI play. We're going to take a look at the VectorVest 7 software, see if it's trading at a premium. or if the stock has pulled back and opening up some value opportunities here. NVIDIA invested in quantum company owned by Honeywell. So ABB, I put Honeywell on that quantum list. I put Honeywell that right up there, with Microsoft, Google, Amazon, NVIDIA, TSM as a safer quantum play. I like Honeywell. They're based out of Charlotte. They got their hands in everything. They're a defense play, technology play, industrials play. The Abram tank, they're responsible for the engine for that. I like Honeywell. I just like as a company. I know it's not the sexiest company. It's not going to be as maybe lucrative as some of the other quantum plays, but I put in the safer quantum category if you want quantum exposure. It's like Google or Microsoft or something like that. The company is called Honeywell. But yeah, so this is the question here of the hour. This is really the question of gold, and if gold is going to keep running, is it going to come back? I started talking about gold about 2 years ago when the government was raising interest rates to combat inflation, right? When you raise interest rates, typically you think that's going to bring down gold prices because it's a stronger dollar, right? Well, that correlation kind of broke because one of the reasons of others is central banks around the world essentially loading up on gold, right? Mistrust in the dollar, mistrust in the U.S. financial system, $37 trillion debt. Gold spiked when the tariff appeal came out. That's a whole debacle here, talking about the tariffs being illegal and the U.S. government having to pay it back. What does that mean? I got to pay it back? I don't know how I feel about all that. I think it's kind of dumb at this point. But yeah, I can see why people are going to gold. I don't blame you. Do you live in this world? I don't blame you for going to gold, right? Or going, as long as the internet works, Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? But people are going to assets. Whatever they're doing, they're not staying in the dollar. You got things like the BRICS. You've got so many reasons domestically and internationally that the dollar is, it under attack and for many reasons here. Dollar has been sinking fast over the past several months. There's some of your answer. The dollar has been sinking a lot. Not just over the last few months here, but quite some time. John Ryan, I was looking at ALAB in the industry group. It's ranked higher than NVIDIA. ALAB, NVIDIA, Broadcom, MU, AMD are the top ones. ALAB leads the group now. Ryan, is it a good day to take profits on gold? As long as you're happy with those profits, Alex. But I don't see the gold run. This is the problem here, right? $37 trillion in debt, right? No one's flooding into housing anymore. Housing is already maxed out. Think about it. Housing, just because I'm looking at property and my mom's trying to sell some property, so we've been looking at it now. Maybe if you just go on like a Zillow, all the properties we're looking at, the properties that we own, they've been trending down for the last, year or two, depending on the property. This is in Charlotte, North Carolina, one of the hottest housing markets out there. There is no more pump in the real estate. The real estate's been pumped. Real estate needs a breather. So it looks like it's going to go to gold. You're seeing, Bitcoin, but gold is taking but real estate is taking a breather right now. If the tariffs were collected illegally, then of course they should be repaid unless the law means nothing. I don't make the law. I don't enforce the law. I don't even know what I'm going to say about that whole situation here. All I'm going to say is the American people are stuck in the middle. And why do you think gold's going up, right? The system. Alex says, Nail is doing well, though. Maybe just from hoping for the cut. Yeah, I would say that interest rate cut would probably get the home builders excited. But, you still got to build houses, right? Still got to build houses. Silver is the more attractive sister to gold at the moment. Yes, Tabulate. I put silver right in there. Glad I didn't take profits on Celestica. Going to add it to Broadcom and Alphabet. Yeah, not a bad stock at all. But yeah, as long as this is in the headlines, it's in the headlines every day. Don't matter, if you're watching neutral, left, or right news sources, this is typically in the headlines. All right, so this is the last one I got for you. Why Amazon is a leading mover in the stock market today. Look, the stock's up 4%, $9 right now. I like it. Wall Street is seeing a big revenue opportunity ahead for Amazon. Why do you ask? That's funny because I have the answer right here. Mega funding round for Anthropic. Remember that stock, Anthropic? An artificial intelligence startup backed by the e-commerce giant. Shares of Amazon jumped more than 3% Thursday, making it one of the best S&P performers today. The stock is up more than 6% year to date after making a roughly 10% rebound over the past month, fueled by several catalysts, including its relationship with quickly growing Anthropic, right? So Anthropic is why Amazon is up today, right? Amazon is a great stock to sell options premium. Yes, because it is pretty volatile. So yes, you will get some extra premium there because of that volatility. I predict a rise in home prices after Fed's second rate cut. Of course, prices will go up with a cut. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If the buyers aren't willing to pay these prices for the homes, yes, you would have to lower the interest rate cut, which would lower the monthly payment to make those prices more attractive. So I don't think the home values are going to go up. I think the interest rate cuts are going to make the home prices more attractive. But, I don't see, real estate taking off. It depends where you're at. It depends, obviously, what home, there's many different situations out there. But generally speaking, I don't see real estate taking off over the next 12 months. Let's see here. But yes, Amazon is a great stock to sell options premium. Sales growth rate, I think it's updated after the earnings. So whenever the forecasts come in, our data provider, well, it was Reuters, but I think right now we actually have like a direct connection with the New York Stock Exchange. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But yeah, whenever the most updated forecasts come out from either of those sources, I think it is just directly through the NASDAQ exchange now for that data. All right, those are the stories today. A lot of things going on. We've got, weak labor data coming out, big earnings, Broadcom coming out here, IonQ, Celestica. Have on your radar the 30. I mean, that's why gold is hot, right? Is the faith in the dollar gone? Not just domestically, but internationally. We're seeing pressure all around. And then Amazon, a little excitement today at 4%. AI opportunity with Anthropic, getting investors excited. So let's jump back into the VectorVest 7 software here. All right, there we go. Look, major indices all in positive territory today. Look, VectorVest Composite, the broad market not lagging far behind the NASDAQ here. The NASDAQ up just almost 0.6. We're at 0.5 here. So we are seeing a little bit of broad market movement, which is nice to see. As far as price action, the VectorVest Composite 75.4. We just got a little bit higher to go. We could potentially get a green light here. We got a little bit higher to go. And we can get that primary wave up. Could potentially get a green light. But we see the RT. The market's just trying to pick a direction right now. And that's why I want to get too bearish or too bullish right now. Wait for some confirmation either way. If you see some trades along the way, hey, just stay disciplined. But right now, you're not going to get much momentum either way from the market. Buy-sell ratio, the health of the market still strong, though. So I am optimistic in the market here. And again, we've got reasons for a potential interest rate cut, which could get the market excited. Let's go to the viewers here. First thing let's look at the news, actually, and then we'll take a look at the earnings. As far as the news, just had a couple stocks here. All right. We had Celestica here. We had Anglo Gold, Goldfields. Put a couple gold stocks in there for that $37 trillion article. We got Amazon here, IonQ. That's what I was saying. I like the quantum, but just with all the hype we've seen here, I mean, it's really hard to, justify these prices. I kind of see it, like a Palantir. The premium's kind of baked in. We got to, wait on future projects. I mean, I get the importance of these companies. But you see price action here, 41 value, $3.73 here. So a lot of them, they are going to just be overvalued. Again, these are quantum companies here. Any other value? We got some value in the gold space, obviously, but Amazon is now overvalued. We value the company at $212, slightly overvalued at $235, fundamentally strong. 4 out of 5 buy. All of these stocks here, 5 out of 6 have buy ratings. Growth rate and earnings good numbers. Except IO and Q just not good here at all. Negative earnings per share. Everything else looks good. Let's take a look at the charts here. All right, here is CLS. I've got value here being the green line, a 20-day EMA and a 40-day EMA. Also got RT relative timing and volume. You can see volume here. It's trading at highs right now, but not on very strong volume. So just keep that in mind. I do like the retest here of this 40 twice now. Nice pivots there. Stock is now overvalued. RT still in favorable territory. Looks good overall. Nice lower left, upper right. The stock's doing what we want it to do. It looks like it's breaking out now as we speak from that prior high. So as long as we don't get much of a wick here at the top, we could get some confirmation to the upside. Looks good overall. Anglo Gold, a little pullback on gold today. Again, usually the best time to load up on gold is closer to the 20 or 40 day. You can see value rising, price rising. I like it overall. Let's take a look. Let's take this off here. Let's add earnings. See where the earnings are. Earnings, forecasted earnings also rising. I'm going to... Oh. Now let me move this over. That way y'all can see. There we go. Now you can see. Perfect. All right. Let's go back to 3 months here. Gold fields, again, we're seeing that momentum with gold here. Again, scooping it up around that 20-day EMA, never a bad idea, but with price action on the rise, value also ticking up nicely, earnings per share, not bad. Let's take a look at sales growth rate, earnings growth rate, 29.64. Everything's ticking up there. We'll take off RT. Here's Orla. The big jump here, 43 to 44. Sales growth rate also ticking up. Earnings per share. Orla not seeing that momentum like we're seeing some of the other gold stocks right now. So keep that in mind. Here is Amazon. Nice gap up today, currently at 235. Amazon approaching a new high. You can see the previous high coming in at 236.53. Just less than $2 away, so that's exciting. Amazon could be hitting a new high here pretty soon. Earnings per share, $7. Sales growth rate, earnings growth rate, 24, 13% respectively. I like it. It looks like Tuesday that we may get the primary wave to turn up. Yeah, we'd have to see the composite move quite a bit more. I don't know if we'll see it today. Maybe tomorrow. We shall see. But we'll have to finish strong today. Here's IO and Q. Again, these quantum stocks trading at a premium here. You can see their valuation coming at $3.73. Let's take a look at a year. That's the resistance here. A lot of resistance around this level. I could see it pulling back, potentially back below 30. But I'm just not there right now with IO and Q. Maybe here in the near future. Now let's take a look at the earnings stocks. Oh, Alex, we had ADP jobs report today. We had it today. We added less jobs than expected. We just covered that. I think it was, what, 58,000? Broadcom here. Overvalued. The only value you're going to get here is a Salesforce or DocuSign, but IoT is greatly overvalued. Figma, greatly overvalued. That's down 20% right now off the earnings call. Sell recommendation in effect. The highest earnings growth rate is Samsara IoT here, currently at $36. Let's graph these. Here's Broadcom. The stock was around, what, $150 to $300. Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if it takes a breather or just moves to the side. But right now, even still above the 20-day EMA, I can't be too concerned about it. Earnings per share is ticking up. Growth rate earnings, 26%. Sales growth rate, 20%. I like it. The only thing I don't like here is just stock is overvalued to our metrics. So investors are willing to pay premium for this position. Here's CRM. Looking at CRM here, it doesn't look bad, like a bottom fishing opportunity. We see quite a few touches right around this level here. $231 right now is $243. Look at the valuation coming in at $307. This might not be a bad play. Earnings per share rising, growth rate. They are faltering here, 16%, and sales growth rate at 8% here. Amazon sent me a warning this week about doing too many purchase returns. That's the whole point of using them, isn't it? Because you're killing their profit. They're cracking down on purchase returns, and they're cracking down on other people using other people's accounts, I've noticed. I saw an article about the account thing. But yeah, I've also gotten one of those warnings about making too many purchase returns. So I have a feeling they might be cracking that down. They're going to have some cost-cutting measures coming soon. But as far as CRM, I actually like this bottom fishing. That's definitely aggressive right now. But I like what I see here so far with Salesforce. Yeah, chart doesn't look good on CRM. I like it from a bottom fishing opportunity. But like I said, I'd be disciplined around 231. But overall, yes, the price action is not there. You can see another touch from that point way back. I mean, the stock had $11 in earnings per share there. Here, around the same price, and only had $6. So you're getting almost double earnings per share as of right now than you were, was this back in 2023, and you're paying that for premium up here. I don't know, I find it as a good value play, but yeah, stay disciplined if you think about it. Maybe wait for the market or a little bit more confirmation, but definitely aggressive right now. Here's DocuSign, another one taking a big dip here. Undervalued right now. Earnings per share is rising. Sales growth rate coming in at 8%. Which ones would gain the most, and should we invest in them? Since U.S. companies paid the tariffs, the refunds would go back to those companies. I don't know how I'm sure they're gonna appeal it, and I wouldn't be betting in the U.S. government paying back those tariffs. I don't think they're gonna be in a rush to, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. DocuSign also acting like a poopy stock. I mean, look at it over the last 6 months here. This was a darling child here. Let's go to a year. Earnings per share is ticking up nicely here. I mean, could be a value play on DocuSign, but again, the stock's just in its own way. Forecasted data doesn't seem half bad. I mean, at that price, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. There's definitely a downtrend, though. Let's see here. Yeah, I could want to retest this level again. Right now it's at 75. I don't know. Oh, man, what does that look like? Anybody know what this looks like? Does anybody know what this looks like? The government will say finders, keepers, losers, sweepers with returning mayor. That's what I'm saying, John. I don't see the government in a rush to pay. Does the government even know who they'd have to pay? We'd have to pay people to find out who the money even goes to. Oh God, just the government. And they wonder why Bitcoin's at over $100,000 a coin right now for internet money. Let's be honest here. Oh, yeah. But yeah, if you look at DocuSign, if you are thinking about this as a nice pivot off of this, I would use this as my target. But, that would be the trade setup for me. Yeah, wedgie. There you go, Greenan. There it is. A little wedgie. All right. Let's go down. Here we've got IoT also trending lower. Broke between these resistance lines here around $42, $41. Looking like it's going to get resistance here. Let's see if price action can break above that 40 before we get too excited. I see the stock is well overvalued as well. Investors are paying a premium, but the forecasted data is nice, 45, 31%. This is the last one, Fig. You could see the hype right after the IPO, But that height went from $140 now to $55. Ooh. Nope. Can't like that one. All right, what time is it? 2:40. Let's go to your picks. Hit that like button. How many likes we got here today? All right, we got 53 likes. You got 20 seconds. 20 seconds. As of right now, it's going to be 6 stocks. 6 stocks going into, I was going to say holiday weekend, but my holiday weekend, since last weekend wasn't much of a holiday weekend. All right. 6 stocks it is. Let's see here. What were the fifth? 6. All right. Now that I'm going to call for the stocks, you guys have hitting the like button. 50 stocks for Glenn. Now the next 6 stocks I come through are going to be the first 6 stocks starting as of right now. We got LEN was the first one when I said that. Y'all be trying to jump the gun. All y'all trying to jump the gun. And who knows, you might get an extra one out of me. How many is this? How many we got here? We got 8. So that's it. That's it for today. Look at Ethereum down 4%. Ooh, no. Let's see here. Reddit at the top of the list here. Reddit way overvalued. AppLovin way overvalued. Not surprised. Visa overvalued. Cloudflare. There's no value here in any of these stocks. These are not value plays, but there is some momentum here. You see, most of these stocks are up today. Looking at RVs, not much for the long-term investors. We got Reddit and App, more speculative. Not much safety there. But most of these stocks are trending up right now, all but Starbucks. Looking at growth rate earnings, Reddit 53%, AppLovin 49%. Woo! Do you mean as in now or maybe now? Where is Amir? That's a good question. Amir, where'd you go? Amir don't come no more. Where you at, Amir? Where are you at? All righty. But yeah, no, these stocks look good overall. Let's take a look at the charts. Some of them are a little bit riskier, a little bit premium. Look at that momentum. Full body candlestick chasing yesterday's high. I like getting back above 230. That's optimistic for me. Value is rising with this position here. We see value rising, still way overvalued, but it's Reddit. This is the company that's literally in charge for pumping stocks on their platform. So I'm not going to be surprised that their own stock gets pumped. Are you? No. So I'm not going to base this off the earnings or growth rate. Use star search, use moving averages, say something to stay disciplined. But I do like the fact that it's back above that 230. That's a good sign for the bulls. Here's AppLovin. I'm liking AppLovin here. If we do get any kind of pullback on AppLovin, could be potentially here. Let's go to a little bit more. We are approaching, I thought we were approaching that high. So we could see some resistance here in the near future. This is where it broke down right here. We are above the breakdown of that. Looks like a kind of a wedge. But that's going to be our confirmation around 524, that prior high is. So this is my zone here. If it breaks to below 471, we get more defensive, more bearish. If it gets above 524, that's confirming that momentum to the upside. I don't know, John. Where is Amir? That's a good question. SMR. Big day for SMR. Yesterday, I haven't looked at it today, but I know yesterday was a big day for him. Here's Ethereum. Ethereum coming right back to this 20-day EMA. See if you get any kind of love there as far as kind of support, some kind of pivot. You can see it's been a pretty good accumulation point in the past, and we are approaching that area right now. But on the caveat of that, I mean, Ethereum has just rocketed, right? From $15 to $45. Probably needs a breather. It might even break this and retest this. This would be my suspicion right here. That wants to come back down and retest this 36. And that's right where that 40-day is. So if we see much of a break here, I'm looking down here near the 40. Here's Lennar Corp. Building residential. You could see, I mean, this just looks like a big cup handle. or a big cup forming, right? So I'm going to play it as so. So my target's going to be right in here. Around 160 to 180 per se. Right now it's at 137. The trend is in your favor. You can see a nice pivot recently with confirmation off the 20-day here. As far as the forecasted data, it's all down over the last 10 months here. It's actually negative earnings growth rate, negative sales growth rate for this company. So when I said that home values have been flat or have been pulling back over the last year or two, you could see Lennar Corp, this is a building company, almost reflecting that as well. You could see a potential dip buying, but look at the value of the building. That's just plummeted, and the stock actually was undervalued, but is now overvalued. So I would play it like a cup. See if the technical, if the cup falls apart, hey, maybe use the 20 or 40 to keep you in it. But the momentum is to the upside right now. Other than that, forecasted data looks poopy, and the stock's overvalued. I don't see it there with the housing market. Here's Visa, lower left, upper right. Value also lower left, upper right. Earnings per share rocking and rolling. Everything looks good there. Growth rate, sales growth rate, 15-14%. Growth rate is declining. Stock is overvalued. But one thing I will say for the short-term bulls, use a freehand line, looks like we just broke out. There we go. Yeah, it looks like we just broke out there. So I do like that. I'm seeing a little bit of more optimism over the last two trading sessions. So yeah, I do like Visa right now. It looks like that downtrend has ended. Here's Cloudflare, nice lower left, upper right. Nice full-bodied candlestick. Again, closer to that 20-day. Seems like a good time for accumulation on this stock, and we're just pivoting off that right now. Growth rate, 25%. Sales growth rate outpacing it. In addition to that, we're at 28% on the sales side. Very nice. Very nice. Let's see here. I like this tick up in the earnings per share. I mean, look at this. Earnings per share ticking up nicely, too, over the past little bit. The valuation, yeah, a little rich, but overall the stock looks good. Forecasted data looks good. Now here's Sound. Sound is also starting to make a comeback here. Still overvalued. Again, you're not trading this based on the value play. This is a news-driven stock, retail-driven stock. Forecasted data, growth rate, earnings 5%. Not going to get me very excited. I do like the stock here. I'm just curious. Yeah, we're still above the trend line. So, yeah, I'm going to be bullish on SoundHound. Looks good. All right, here's Starbucks. Starbucks, I mean, look at the value declining. Earnings per share dropping. The sales is growing. Stock's done nothing in 5 years. Growth rate is -6. Nope. No. Nothing is positive with this stock. Nothing is, saying, hey, let's do this one. Probably on vacation, and his wife won't let him sign in. Does NVIDIA still own it? Already, Amir sold SMCI and bought a 1995 Prius. Stop it. SMR filled the gap today. I'm disappointed. A-Lab is turning into a stock more people are talking about, like when app was unknown. This is the stock here that's making all the fuss. A-Lab now at 187. Whew. It's making a big move. Stock's only been trading about a year. 5 months. Let's get a 1 month. We could be getting a big breakout. See if we can get above this trend line. Because right now, you would be right at resistance. So we want to see if we get a break above it. You can see what's happening here. Getting more and more range bound. Putting pressure on price. It's going to break out one way or the other. Troy says, I am keeping my eye on NVTS. Yeah, this was a stock I did the video last night about. I'm curious. Let's see here what it's doing today. Yeah, that's what I thought. I figured it was going to start heading towards it. Just hit another low. Told you in the video last night, don't be in a rush to buy it. This is the level I'm thinking. They're coming out with silicon carbide. Well, they have the gallium chip, but was it silicon carbine? Silicon carbine. A new type of chip that NVIDIA wants to use, especially essentially just more energy efficient for their power supply. But it's pulling back quite a bit, so don't rush into that trade yet. You can see the stock is overvalued. Carbide, yeah, tongue twister there. Tongue twister. All right, let's go back to the market here, see where we're at. And actually, while we're here, yep, I was looking at SOGP. This is a stock here that's showing a lot of momentum right now. Let's take a look at the major indices, see where they're at. All right, you see just a simple retest off the 40, right at my level support here. Breaking back above the 20. Looks good as far as the Qs. I like what I see here. If we want some real confirmation, we'll be finding it soon when we break above this downward trend line here. Or if we get some rejection there, that could also be the potential. But that would be my confirmation there. But it still looks good for the Qs. S&P looks good. Again, looks like just accumulation right above the 40. Full body candlestick currently trading at session highs. Looks like the major indices here also approaching all-time highs once again. VectorVest composite, nice retest on that 20. Just filled in the gap. I do like that. Nice little gap fill there. There's the gap fill. Very nice. So yeah, no major concern when it comes to the major indices in the VectorVest composite here. All right. Other than that, I did want to mention, if you guys are not aware, we are doing the Vegas event September 20th, September 21st out in Las Vegas. If you're thinking about registering or if you have questions, accommodations, things of that nature, all that stuff could be answered at VectorVest.com/Vegas. We're going to have some heavy hitters out there like Jerry D'Ambrosio. Ron Wheeler's going to be out there. So make sure you come check us out. I believe, Joey, is it going to be streaming on YouTube as well? I don't know how that works. Joey might know. Joey, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be streaming on YouTube. Okay, so yeah, so even if you can't make it at the in-person event, and I would love, hopefully, you guys. Jake says Crazy Jerry. Yeah, Crazy Jerry's gonna be there. They put the link in there. Joey put the link in there. VectorVest.com/Vegas. Joey is going to Vegas. Yes, you know Joey's going to Vegas. He's going to go raise some hell. A little hell raiser out there. No, he's got to be out there. He's going to help us set up. Do all the electrical stuff. See, I don't even know how to, what to say. I don't know how to do it. Joey's got to be there, right? You don't want me and Crazy Jerry putting that stuff together. We won't make it to the internet. But yeah, definitely check it out. And it's also a good thing. So if you can't be there in person, we get it. Everyone's got a busy schedule, especially, school starting back up, going to the holidays. We'll be on the YouTube. Check it out. See you there. I'll be staying at the Rio, though Venetian is crazy expensive. Yes, we're at the Venetian. Fancy is the VIP experience. Fancy. We have there are special hotel rates through that link, Roger. So if you weren't aware of that, there are special links. Don't quote me on the price, but apparently there is a discounted rate for the VectorVest members. And you can get that information. Again, that's just VectorVest.com/Vegas. And just a reminder, tomorrow's mobile live stream is canceled. I will be gone. I'll be back Monday for everything. And as far as the power hour, tomorrow afternoon at 2 in the VectorVest community room. Someone in education will be covering that, but I have a feeling it might be Steve Chappell or Jerry. I'm not sure. But you'll get a special treat there, and you'll get another viewpoint on your stock pick, so make sure you check it out. John says, why is Wayfair going up? Didn't they fire everyone since 90% of their employees were? Stop it, John. Roger says, LOL, they usually raise the price of those special rates. Yeah, those special rates, right? It's just extra special, Roger. Just extra special. All right, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there. As we all saw with the major indices, doesn't look like the market's, and it's still pushing its way up. Looks like those were nice, simple retests on the 20 and 40 day for some accumulation here. The color guard showing us to be a little bit more cautious. Right now, we're not going to advocate buying anything. You can see the yellow and red lights there. If you do it, just know that you're being a little bit more on the aggressive side, right? But the primary wave is not far from going back to an up situation. So, if you want a little bit more confirmation before pulling the trigger on anything, waiting for the primary wave, never a bad idea. All right, everybody, enjoy your afternoon. Everybody enjoy the beautiful weather out there. And one thing I do want to say, if you can't find a nice person in the world, be one. Strive to be better. Take care.